Ha guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriors vs Bulls player grades. Quinten Post and gswnewstoday shine. Steph Curry dishes. The Golden State Warriors gave us a little bit of a scare Thursday night, looking lethargic and uninterested as they fell behind the Chicago Bulls 20-6 early, and then they turned things around in a massive way, building up a double-digit third quarter lead and turning things into a blowout early in the fourth quarter. The end result was a 131-106 victory, one of the most fun games in recent memory and a coming out party for a few youngsters. As always, grades are based on my expectations for each player, with upgrade representing the average performance for that player. Oh, I sure do love it when Wiggins plays offense with aggression, and that's exactly what he did on Thursday night. He was relentless, attacking the hoop, forcing Chicago's defense into sorts, drawing contact and living at the free throw line where he made all shots. That aggression showed up in his defense and his rebounding too. A quietly awesome game. GPI got the start, but it didn't go very well. His lack of offense hurt the Dubs, and Chicago didn't have any ball handlers who were doing enough damage for Peyton's defense to be utilized. When the second half began, Peyton was on the bench in a reversal of what happened on Wednesday night. TJT got the start but was replaced by Kevin Looney at halftime. It's unclear if that was due to how well the Warriors played when Looney was on the court, or if Jackson Davis' ankle, which left him questionable going into the game, was acting up. Either way, he did some awesome things on offense while not having his best game on defense, but all around a steady performance. A very rough shooting game for Hield, though he did a lot of little things well, not well enough to make up for the roughness of the shooting, though it was just the 12th time in his career that he attempted at least 5 threes without making one. What we learned, as Steph posts. Spark Warrior went over Bulls. How did the Warriors respond one night after blowing an 18-point lead to their Northern California rivals, the Sacramento Kings, by learning their lessons and crushing the Chicago Bulls in the second half to enjoy a 131-106 win on the second night of a back-to-back? The third quarter was a disaster for the Warriors the night prior, as the Kings erased a 17-point halftime deficit and outscored Golden State 37-20 on Thursday night at Chase Center. Their Warriors trailed by 1 point at the half, only to outscore the Bulls 31-6 in the third quarter for a 14-point lead going into the fourth, and never looked back. On the same night, he was named an NBA All-Star Game starter for the 10th time and 11th time overall. Steph Curry scored 21 points and made 5 three-pointers to go with 4 rebounds and 7 assists. However, the Warriors' youth is what gave them needed jolt to get back in the win column. gswnewstoday 22 continued to open eyes and scored a career-high 19 points on 7 of 10 shooting, including going 5 of 6 from deep. Rookie Quinten Post 24 added a career-high 20 points in 20 minutes while going 5 of 10 behind the three-point line. Here are 3 takeaways from an impressive Warriors blowout win that pushes them back to 500 at 22-22 after missing the last 12 games due to an abdomen injury. Brandon Podziemski made his long-awaited return to the court, checking in for the first time at the 347 mark of the first quarter. Podziemski didn't register any stats in the first quarter, but he was a +S, and like always he took a charge. Steve Kerr said in his pre-game press conference that Podziemski would play in short stints, and he stuck to his word. When the second quarter started, Podziemski was back to being on the bench, where he remained for the first 4+ minutes of the second quarter. Then his scoring began. Bodie's first shot attempt was a successful 3 while being guarded by Josh Giddey. Soon after, Podziemski hit a mid-range jump shot, something that could be vital for his development in the second quarter. Podziemski tallied 7 points and 3 rebounds, making him a +11 in the first half, playing his first game since December 28. Podziemski wounded up with 10 points, 4 rebounds and 2 assists to be a +22 in 21 minutes. His game was very reminiscent of his first-team all-rookie campaign. Podziemski wasn't alone when he first checked in on Wednesday night in Sacramento. Post received first-half minutes for the first time in his NBA career. The next next night he was on the floor in the first quarter for the first time. His impact was felt fairly immediately. Post drained his first three-point attempt of the game a minute and a half upon entering with a little more than a minute left in the first half. Post displayed the exact skill that excites the Warriors most, making a pick-and-pop three-pointer after setting a screen for Curry. The rookie checked back in for the final 2 minutes of the third quarter, and with 15 seconds remaining Post made his third three-pointer of the game. He started there fourth quarter and again made another three from the top of the arc early into the quarter. The 7-footer made 2 threes in the fourth quarter with zero hesitation. Chicago Bulls acquired Julius Randle in proposed trade involving Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors are believed to be interested in acquiring Vic from the Chicago Bulls. Rumors suggest that the two teams have been engaged in trade talks for weeks, but nothing has materialized until now. It remains to be seen if that changes in the near future, but with the trade deadline getting closer, teams need to be quick if they want to get deals done this season. Vic is not believed to have a long-term future in Chicago despite enjoying a fantastic season so far, as the veteran center has proven a lot of doubters wrong and is averaging 20.3 points and 10.4 rebounds per game while making 55.4% of his field goal attempts and 41.1% from three-pointers. Julius Randle is another player whose long-term future appears to be up in the air. His numbers have dropped significantly since joining the Minnesota Timberwolves. Randle is averaging 18.9 points, 7.3 rebounds and 4.5 assists per game with the Timberwolves, the three-time All-Star's worst output since leaving the Los Angeles Lakers. Randle is unlikely to decline his $3.9 million player option this offseason, but might not have a long-term future with the Timberwolves, who could have other priorities. In Bleacher Report, Eric Pincus has proposed a trade idea that would see the Timberwolves receive Lonzo Ball, Buddy Hield, Julian Phillips and a $2.9 million trade exception. Julius Randle. The Warriors would get Vic, Patrick William, Torrey Craig, Talon Horton Tucker and a $9.1 million trade exception. Gary Payton. To the Bulls would receive Julius Randle, Jonathan Kuminga, Kevin Looney, Kyle Anderson, Garrett and to Luka Garza a $20 million trade exception. Nicole Fick and a $2.8 million trade exception. Torrey Craig. The Bulls would be adding a lot in such a trade. They would get Randle, who is arguably the best player out of everybody involved. Kuminga has always been considered an elite talent, although we are yet to see him truly break out in Golden State, and Looney is a three-time champion who can be a steady presence on the court for a young team. And you fan, what do you think of the situation of Nicole Fick? Leave your opinion in the comments.